Hello, I'm Graham. Welcome back to Man vs Film. This video is all about the top 10 movies you can watch in September on UK Netflix.
Man vs Film.
Straight in at number 10 is Begin Again, a comedy about a musical producer who's lost his way and meets up with this hotshot artist, and together they're going to set the world alight by making this sort of low-key album set all around New York. Now it stars the Hulk and Domino, otherwise known as Mark Ruffalo, Keira Knightley, and it's a really enjoyable movie. It's one that it's effortlessly cool. You sink straight into it. The movie's great, the characters are great, the music's fantastic, and it just flows along, and it's a nice little treat. Sure, once you're done with it, you're probably going to forget about it, but if you're looking for a nice date movie in the house, or you're looking for something just to put on and just zone out to, Begin Again's your movie. Number 9 is a remake, and that is a remake of The Thomas Crown Affair, starring Pierce Brosnan and Rene Russo. This is about a high-profile multi-millionaire who has a side business in thievery, and it's always these complex thefts going on, and Rene Russo's there to try and catch him in the act of these type of things, and it's really well done. It's one of Brosnan's best movies outside of the Bond franchise, and it's got this fantastic score that's a sort of percussion heavy thing that's all the way through the movie that's really excellent. Number 8 is Mark Wahlberg's Shooter, a movie that you can always enjoy. It's directed by Anton Fuqua, and you know, what more do you need to know? It's a movie about a man who's set up for an assassination that he didn't do, and he has to clear his name. Yeah, you've seen the story before, but have you seen it like this before with Wahlberg in it? Probably not. Check it out. Number 7 is Ryan Reynolds' breakthrough debut role, and that is Van Wilder, Party Liaison. I love Van Wilder. I've got a soft spot for these kinds of movies. I know they're not the best movies in the world, but I get so much enjoyment out of them, and I think it's a really fun, slick movie with one of the best performances that Ryan Reynolds has ever given. You can't help but feel that this is him outside of a movie studio. You know, this is just the character that he is. It's a great performance. Number 6 is Horns, the one where Harry Potter slips over to Slytherin. Horns is about a guy who is hounded by the media because his girlfriend has died and he's been blamed for the murder, and he develops these horns that grow out of his head. Now, some people react differently to the horns, but they find that they've sort of powers, they can help him manipulate people in certain ways, and together he's going to find out who killed his girlfriend. It's a simple story like that, and it's good to see Daniel Radcliffe trying something a bit different from the Harry Potter franchise, and he does fantastically well. Although his accent's a little bit ropey in places, it is still an enjoyable movie, and it's just out recently last year and it's on Netflix already. Number 5 is one of my favourite courtroom dramas, and that is 12 Angry Men. It is basically a deliberation of these 12 people as they discuss this case, and they decide the fate of the criminal, who you never meet, you never see, you only hear about through the paperwork. It's tense, it's riveting, with some fantastic performances that really put you on edge and you just don't know what's going to happen. This is a classic movie. If you haven't seen it, you must rectify that as soon as possible. Number 4 is a movie that I saw for the first time a couple of years ago. Now, being a huge John Carpenter fan, I made a point to try and check out all his movies. 2 years ago, I decided to work through his full body of work, and I stumbled across Starman. Now, I'd heard of Starman, I'd never seen it, and it's not a horror movie, which is probably why I didn't rush to check it out sooner. It's about an alien that lands on Earth, and that is Jeff Bridges, and Jeff Bridges gives an absolutely fantastic performance. It is amazing what he does in this role. Do you know, I want to tell you the full story of it, but I don't want to waste it for you. Check it out. Number 3 is a movie I saw last year, and that's Coherence. And what's fascinating about this movie is it was made for 50 grand, stars about 6 people in a house, and that is it. Know what you're thinking? That sounds tedious, it sounds boring, it sounds like a horror, which it kind of is. But what it's about is about this meteor that flies overhead when these people are having a dinner party. And now the power goes out, and people are at the door, people are leaving notes in the door, and they don't know what's going on, and they're going out to explore. And what happens is the meteor's opened up this sort of parallel universe, and they're bumping into various versions of themselves, and they're going into the house thinking that that's their house they came from, and it's not. It's a house from another dimension, and they're handling things differently than what their own one may do. It sounds complicated, but it's really not, and it's fascinating. And to see what these people did with such a low budget is mesmerising. This is a great movie. Number 2 in my list is a movie that I saw earlier this year, and it stuck with me for a long while, it really did, and that is The Babadook. And I'm quite upset that I missed it in the cinema now. It is a fantastic horror movie, and it's really horrifying. It's not like one of these stalker movies where somebody's getting killed. It's about mother who's coming to terms with the loss of her husband and trying to raise her son together, and her son's kind of like hyper all the time, constant attention, constantly doing things that's getting him in trouble, constantly getting her stressed. She has nobody to really talk about with this situation. They start to get stalked by this thing, the Babadook, who has come for her son. It's a really involving, really tense tale that's quite nuanced as well. It's all layered up in certain parts, and the sound design in it is absolutely fantastic. The Babadook's a great movie. It's not for everybody. It's not a stalker movie. There's not lots of deaths. You're not going to see lots of people getting stabbed or things like that. It's just a really tense, really atmospheric, really deep horror movie. My list is Roman Polanski's Chinatown, an absolutely classic, a behemoth of a movie that if you haven't seen, you must rectify. This is a tale about a private investigator hired to do a job, and things just escalate. I don't want to tell you too much about it, but this is a seminal movie. This is one of the true classics, and that's why I've made it my number one. If you haven't heard of it and you haven't seen it before, this is your chance to check it out. I picked up the Blu-ray last year and I absolutely love this movie. And because this is my top 10 list, I can change rules whenever I want. I'm going to make it a joint number one. Now, this is in relation to Chinatown. The sequel is actually available on Netflix as well, and that's called The Two Jakes. The Two Jakes was directed by Jack Nicholson, and it pretty much ended his directorial career because he didn't do another one after that. It also stars Harvey Keitel, and it was written by Robert Towne, the original writer of Chinatown. So if you're watching Chinatown, give The Two Jakes a shot. But you know what? If you don't see it, don't worry about it. But definitely check out Chinatown, and I will see you next time on Man vs. Film.
Man versus Film.